Hi, Maria here, and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to talk about my favorites since turning 50. So if you haven't subscribed, please feel free to subscribe and join the community. And yeah, let's get started. First thing that I wanted to talk about was primers, and two primers. This primer I've been using forever, and it's Milani Prime Light. And the only place that I use this is under the eyes. So what I find is my under eye area, as I'm getting older, I'm definitely feeling the crepiness a little bit, and it gets relatively dry. So I find that if I put this on underneath my eyes, it's illuminating, but it just helps the concealer to not get all kind of creasy and crusty. Seems to glide on better. So I love this for under the eyes. The primer that I've been using for my pores, which is primarily my nose, just a little bit here in the cheeks, chin, a little bit in the forehead, is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I've got one from Laura Geller, but I actually like this one better. I just think it's actually really decent. And I noticed I tend to get quite greasy in the nose, and this stuff really helps my foundation stay on my nose as opposed to rubbing off really quickly. So love that one. As far as concealer and foundation, now I have Guerlain Lingerie de Peau, which I really think is beautiful. But honestly, I think that this one is just as good, and it's a fraction of the cost, and it's the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour fresh wear. So this one is quite liquidy, which is very similar to the Lingerie de Peau by Guerlain. I find that it doesn't settle into my lines, except for I've got a couple creases here that I notice it'll settle into once in a while, but overall, it glides over the lines really well, and I think because it's so thin, it doesn't tend to settle. So love this, and then I also love the Infallible Full Wear Concealer by L'Oreal as well. And this one, I just think it's fantastic. It's got one of those big fat doe foot applicators. Like, look at that baby, it's ginormous. And I just find that it's got excellent coverage. And it stays put. The biggest thing is coverage, so I find that I have really quite dark circles under my eyes, and it definitely helps brighten those up. So I love this. And just in case you're wondering, I use 325 in the concealer, and I use 405 in the foundation. Love, 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 love those two. Now, as far as eyeshadows are concerned, you know, I've got a bunch of eyeshadow palettes in rotation, but my favorite, the one that I tend to gravitate towards these days, especially with the whiter hair, I'm loving like purples and kind of magenta-y colors, pinky purples. So I love the Huda Beauty Amethyst palette. I just think it's gorgeous. And my favorite color in the palette is this dark kind of burgundy color. I also get a lot of use out of this shade up here, kind of that magenta shade. I've got that worked into the crease, but all of them, like I love all of them. The only one I tend to steer away from, I don't use this one very much, the middle one here, just because it's darker and I'm not as crazy about it. But other than that, I really love this palette. I love the matte shades in it. There's one warmer shade, one cooler shade, and then that dark shade. And then the rest are kind of different shimmeries, which I like all of the shimmeries. However, I tend to use the shimmers more on this part of my lid because they're a little bit chunkier. So kind of on the more outside of my lid, I'll use the Huda. And then my favorite palette, I use it literally every day for my eyes, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dream palette. Now this is a highlighter palette, but it works fantastic on mature eyes for shimmers. So if you're like me, who just loves the shimmer and the glow, then go with something like a highlighter kit. What I do is I use the NYX glitter primer, and I'll put that just wherever I want the bit of shimmeries, put the glitter primer on, and then I just use my finger And today I've got on, which one did I wear today? Today I've got on this one. So I've used all of these, but they're just beautiful. Like, I don't know if you'll be able to really get the feel, but it's what I've got on my eyes today. Can you see the shimmer and the shine? Like, I love it. And because it's so finely milled, I find that the highlighter palettes are finer milled than a lot of the eyeshadow palettes. So when you put the highlighter colors on your eyes, it really shimmers, but it doesn't look creasy and weird, which happens when your eyes start to get a little bit more crepiness going on. So if you're still loving a shimmer and you're like me, try an eyeshadow or try a highlighter palette. And this one, if you can get your hands on it, oh, look at the rainbow goodness there. Like, look at the prismatic fantasticness. I just love that. Anyway, if you can find this one, it's definitely worth getting. But any sort of a highlighter palette works great on the eyes if you've got mature lids. Now, the highlighting palette that I've been using these days is the Revolution Ultra Glow palette. I used up, well, basically I used these 3 shades here, like this one, and this one. Those are the 3 that I use. And so I used up a full palette, well, of those 3 shades. These go, I don't use them unless I use them for eyeshadows, but they're not as spectacular as the Anastasia for that. But these are a nice color, and I basically just swirl my brush and get all 3 together, and then I use it as a highlighter, and I really love it. Yeah, it's my go-to, man. I've got other ones by like fancier name brands, but I just love this for every day. I can kind of change it up with the 3 different shades. I can go a little cooler, a little warmer, depending on what I do with my makeup that day. So that's what I've been loving. Now, the last 2 products I want to show you, one is a setting spray, and I'd never used anything by Catrice. And then my local superstore had like a 3-pack Christmas set, and it was on sale for like $8. So I thought I'd try it. And my favorite one is this multi-talent fixing spray, and I've basically used it up. The one thing that I'll say about these bottles is, out of the 3, this was the poorest performing spray. So the sprayers were not consistent. My glow one, I've got a glow one as well, and the sprayer on that is phenomenal. The smell of that one is phenomenal. But as far as making my makeup last, this one is excellent. Now, the last product is near and dear to my heart, and it's this Buxom lip gloss called Lavender Cosmo. And by the look of the, like, it looks, well, first of all, why is it called lavender? Because it's more of a pink. I just love this shade. Like, it's beautiful, and I guess there's nothing else I can say about it. I like it because it's pink, but it's quite sheer, so I can put it over a lot of different lipsticks, and it just makes my lips look plump and juicy, and let's face it, that's what we all want. Yes? No? Anyway, those are my favorite products that I've been currently using. Yeah, they're in my rotation all the time. I love, love, love all of them. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed. Feel free to, if you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments and let me know what your favorites are right now. And I guess that's it. So have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.